Well, good morning again, YouTube. I moved on to this driver's door, and I got the plexiglass cut, and I've got my aluminum channel here cut up. I welded this, or JB welded it all together. It's good and hard, but I do have a problem. You can see where I mounted it. Works good. The problem here, if you can see the shadow of the door handle, the door jamb, that thing's sticking up about an inch. And if you look over there at the other one, see if I can get you a little zoom, you can sort of see the shadow there. It's the top of the thing is like an inch and a half below the top of the door. So this is not going to work, unfortunately. It fit real good in here, but I'm going to have to cut that. This is going to have to go down at least an inch, so the top there will be below the door, and I'd like to have it with the other ones an inch below the top of the door. You can kind of see it over there. So I need to lower this about 2 or 3 inches. I've still got plenty of travel in it. This plate here will go all the way to the top, and I might have to cut some out of my window. I don't think so. I made that window an inch bigger than I needed it. But I got the window cut out. It's not up into the channel here right now, but it is cut to the right size. And this will all work out. None of this is in or glued or anything. So I'm going to have to cut this. I don't know what I'll do here, and I'm not sure that this where this is going to go either. That's not a big concern at the moment. Getting this whole thing down is a concern. I think probably what I'll do is cut it about right there and over here someplace. And I'm going to lower this this bracket down about right here. So probably if I cut this straight, I can just use a plate and weld this all together, and it'll still be good and strong. This is part of the main part of the door, and unfortunately I've got a brace in it here that's holding the center to the door. I really can't cut that stuff out of there because that's holding the shape of the door. It's probably good enough. You know, I put this patch in it here, and the skin is probably good enough. But I'm going to fool around with this, and if I possibly can, I'm going to try to lower this window thing here without cutting that brace out. Let me try mocking it up a little bit on the inside, cut my wire ties here and see what. Well, this after quite a bit of cutting, I took out half of that square tube, and I'm about 3/8 of an inch below the outside of the door here with the hinge. I've got it approximately in the center. I notched it over here so it would go down a little more, so it's sticking up about 1/4 of an inch. I can probably deal with that. That's not a big deal. And I've got the motor over here out of the way, so it's really not interfering with the motor until it gets right at the bottom. So I think this is going to be good enough. I need to take this this window out of here and put this top piece on it, and then press it up in there and glue it. Right now it's kind of loose, it's just sitting in there, but basically it's where it needs to be. And I might have to trim the edges of the window a little. But the good thing is I was able to get this lifter in here without having to cut up my whole brace. I can probably just put a little tack weld right there, because it's really not that heavy a force, and then run it like I did on the other one, you know, some kind of a straight flat bar here to hold this in the vertical position. Then I'll cut all this off, and that'll keep it inside my door. Probably looks like a bar from the inside of this over here. This one I don't really have anything. It's you know, that aluminum piece is all it's going to be holding there. I might be able to take a bar straight across here and just tack weld it. The problem is that I'd like to be able to get this window channel out of here without having to cut welds. So I've got this one pretty good. If I shove it down, I can get the window in from the outside up here, you know, from here and down into the channel, and get the channel on both sides. Not exactly sure what I'll do here. Most likely I'm just gonna glue the whole thing in, or use that windshield sealer. That's pretty tough stuff. And if I have to take this window out, I'll worry about that when the time comes. But I want to make sure that I get the window right before I go making it permanent, because I can't take it out and adjust it. Anyway, at least I know it'll work. That's good enough for today. And I'll move on tomorrow with finalizing how this thing's going to go. Well, here it is in. I see that black stuff there? That's the primerless window glass sealer. It hardens really good. So I basically took this window down and filled up that gap there with this rubber, and I got it all straight. I took the inside of my weather strip and I cut little notches in it so it'd go around the curve good. The glass fits good. I might have a little bit of wind noise, I don't know, but I got both channels in and it's straight, and got a lot of pressure on it now. It's all the way up, so this is good. And now I'll just let it dry. This stuff will be real hard and it'll hold the top of that in. I might have to adjust the window a little bit. Now this thing here, I've got this this brace up in here. Let me get you some light. You can see that thing there. That's a pretty big piece, and it kind of interferes with the when this is pressed in, the bolts on this holder are hitting it. So I'm going to have to cut me a couple notches here so this window lifter thing is going to clear that. I should just be able to cut a couple slots in it, and that'll be good for that. But the top is in, it's up flush, and that windshield sealer is going to hold it really tight. I might have to adjust this window just a little. I might have to cut another 1/8 of an inch off of it, something like that. And I'm going to cut this off. I said that before, and put a brace across here. And I was thinking about how am I going to make a inside panel. And this is about 1 inch deep, I suppose. So I think what I'm going to do is make me a 1 inch thick piece of wood that goes around here, and you know, whatever it is here, 1.5 inches, and then round the edge, so this will have a big piece of wood on the inside, and I can just put a couple screws in it, probably 3, 1 in the top and 1 on each side. And that'll do the top part, and I'll do the same right here across where this top of the door is. Not exactly sure how I'll do that, but and then I'll just cover the whole door panel. If I can make this wood all the way around the window, and then I can put another piece that'll be, you know, thin 1/8 inch wood paneling or something like that, cover the bottom, and then I can mount my door switches and stuff in there. And I'll have to figure out some way of running the wires through, but that's a deal for another day. I'll make me a bracket here to hold this out of the way of the window, and this will all be good. But I think that's what I'll do to clean up the top of this, is just make me a big thick piece of wood goes around here, and I'll probably use I don't know what I'll do, whether I might take a piece of like I'll cover the whole door with a thin panel, and I may just glue the panel to this wood and then trim it. We'll see. I'll get some wood and see what it looks like. But the door's in good now, or the window's in the door good. Crash bang. And I've got my channels here on top. It's all real good, and I'll be able to have a little strip that'll go in here. You can see I got about a 1/2 inch when this is pushed in, and I'll do the same thing as I did over on the other side. Once I get this in, I'll just fill this piece up here with Bondo all the way across, and this will all get painted. I did kind of make an error right here. I got this little edge of the window. It's a little too sharp, but that's the way it goes. It's not perfect. It's a rat rod. Well, not really a rat rod, but who knows, I might make another little piece of aluminum or something and put it in there and clean up that front of the window. But all in all, this is pretty good, except for that one little place. And the window's in good now. It took me a lot less time on this one because I already knew what I was going to do. One of the hardest things was making this chopped up piece and then gluing it together. But it's all in good now. I've got a few cuts on the other side that I need to mix up a little JB weld and fill those up, so that'll harden by tomorrow. So we're good here with the door. The rest of it will just be figuring out a way to mount these channels, cleaning up my motor mounts, and just clearance and everything. So I sure appreciate you watching, guys, and we'll try to move on with this little, I guess you'd call it, tutorial how to put electric windows into something that never had them before. Thanks a lot. We'll see you a little bit later. Morning again, guys. I did a lot of thinking here about how to make a door panel because everything is so thick. But I decided what I would do is take a piece of thin wood, which is represented by this piece of cardboard here. I can put a little 1/2 inch piece of wood in here that'll go up and down the frame and make it the same size as the door, and that way I can screw this door panel on it. Cut out a little place here for this, and trying to get the window fuzzy, I thought about bending over a piece like this cardboard, but here's a little piece of the 3/4 channel that I have. So I ordered another piece of it. I'm going to put a 3/4 inch piece all the way across here in the door, and this will give me, I can make a tab and bolt it to the outside of the door, and I can screw this 3/4 inch piece on the inside here. I can put that right along the door panel, screw it on good, and then I can put a little felt right here on the inside to press the window. So I think this will all work out real good. The channel might be a little big. I might have to fool around with it. A 1/2 inch is going to be kind of small. It's going to 3/4 will fit good over here. That's exactly how much I've got. Maybe just a little less. But any an 1/8 of an inch or something, this wood will bend enough to make that fit right. So this is going to be my door panel. I'll have a pretty ugly hole right in here where all this door latch is, but I can make something to cover that. Now that I know what I'm doing, I can probably redo that door lock. But this is what the door panel is going to look like, and I'm going to just make a wood piece for this around the top of the window. I'm not particularly worried about that right now. It would look fine just painted. But the door panel, gotta have that because it's cover up this mess. So anyway, this 3/4 inch piece will fit right in there. I chewed away on this some more. I managed to lower it down there, and these two clamps for the windows were kind of interfering with this big bar they put across there. So I cut this out and pounded that top lip over and down. So now the lifter goes up in there, or the clamp, and it's going up and down smooth. So the window's good. I've got a 1-inch piece of a bar clamped in here because I've got a 3/4 inch piece of channel that's holding the felt, and that'll give me about 1/4 of an inch on the inside if I run 1/4 inch from the outside of this. The door panel's going to go side to side across there, and I've got a 3/4 inch square bar that I'm going to put in there for the inside felt. So 1 inch will give me enough room to clamp this up. I've got it pretty much where it goes. I got one little tack down in the bottom here that's holding it in the center. I had to cut my brace here to get the motor down in here. I'm going to have to cut this one bolt off here so it'll be inside the door, and I'll probably make some kind of a little bracket, just a little tab to hold this motor in, but I think just spring pressure will hold it. So anyway, this mechanism is in good. It was quite a bit more complicated than the other side, but I've got it in where it needs to go. It's centered and it's working good. Everything's going to clear my door panel. I still don't know what I'm going to do about this big old ugly latch here. Maybe I'll just make like a square box or something to cover that up. You know, obviously I can trim down a lot of this stuff. It was just that's what I need to get the outside door to work. A lot of this I could probably cut off. I could cut this bracket off of here with the spring and put something else in there somewhere. Anyway, I'll worry about finalizing this once I get my door panel on. I'm just going to make it out of wood grain veneer, and we'll see what happens after I get this thing made. Anyway, there's the window channel in, and now I just need to brace that and figure out a way of gluing in my my channels here. I'll make sure the window goes up and down in them good. I've got it pulled off here. I think I need to shrink it about another 1/8 of an inch so it's not so tight side to side here, and that should do it. So we'll bring you back when the next little step gets done. Well, I got me a piece of wood. This stuff is really thin. It looks like it's just a tiny veneer over top of some kind of a foam core. But I got it put on here. I put me a board inside the door, but you can see it's straight there, but it's going away up here at the top. Well, there'll be a 3/4 inch bar goes across here, so that'll hold this. This side looks okay. It might be a little curved. I'll have to open this up here to do something with the door latch, but basically it looks good. I got quite a gap in here, but I still have a 3/4 inch square that goes across, and anyway, it looks like that this door panel will work. I think what I'll do is, this is pretty nice shape. I think I'll get some like 1/8 inch plywood or something, and all the places inside here where it's real thin, I'll glue some thick plywood in there to strengthen it, and I'll just use this as a cover. I don't know whether I'll leave it wood like this. I think I can get away with it. I put one wood screw in it with a couple washers here. I think I can probably use some screws and washers and make this look pretty good. And if it's braced good inside, this really is not going to get a whole lot of abuse on the outside. I may just use this piece and cut it up for a template, but I've got plenty of wood over there. Those 2 little pieces you see on the corner are what I cut off of this, so that's enough to probably almost double this whole thing up. But I don't want to use more of this thin stuff. I'd rather get a good piece of, even 3/8 wouldn't be bad, and make this all real strong. I'll put the brace real close to the edge on all of it. Anyway, this is moving along slow. I can't really do much more onto this one until I get this window channel done. So at least we know what the wood looks like. Well, I moved along here on the door. Let's see if I can get this apart here. I had to redo all of this latch mechanism. I made a bent arm in here. I got some all thread and hooked it up. So the outside handle's working good now. I glued in this 3/4 inch piece of aluminum. This was really super thick wall. It's 1/2 inch inside, 3/4 on the outside, so there's 1/8 inch wall. But I just JB welded it in. I've got enough room in here to put my window sweeps in. I glued this board in here. This is all pretty good. And I'll have to put a little piece right in here, probably 1/8 inch plate or something. But the door panel now is pretty straight, and I'll be able to put several screws in here and trim this down. So the panels in, this stuff is just way too thin. I'll make some kind of interior braces, and I have to cut this down here. I need to taper it, so probably I'll do that with a flappy disc there, floppy disc, flapper disc. So it's taken me a couple days to do this, plus waiting for the board, but this is it's gonna work out okay. And when I get it stiff, I can probably stain it. I haven't figured out how to put the inside door handle in. I'll put it in about right here. I'll weld it into some of this stuff on the inside, and we'll move along and show you that. But I thought I'd get this video uploaded. Haven't been doing a lot lately, just a little tiny working on this stuff. So like and subscribe, guys. Appreciate you watching. Hope you learned something from this, and sure do appreciate you. Bye bye.